guys, welcome back to the channel. Sandra and Lambo here. Today is shower day and we just finished blow drying Lambo and you won't believe what I found. It was a little baby dreadlock. So today's video is going to be about poodles and what to do when you find a dreadlock in their curls, how to handle it, and what to do to make sure that it doesn't get worse. So as I'm giving Lambo his blow dry, I'm finding some dreadlocks. But they're very small, they're very tiny, it's nothing serious, but I'm actually really happy that I found these because I actually wanted to show you guys what to do when your poodle has a dreadlock. So if you find a matted area or a dreadlock forming in your poodle's curls, then you want to just literally cut it off. If it's not all the way to the skin, then you're just gonna use a pair of grooming scissors. I have a whole kit for Lambo here. So I'm just going to use our trimming scissors and I'm going to cut it out because it's not to the skin. It's just at the very top of his curl. And I'm just going to cut it off. If it is all the way to the skin and it's all matted, then you want to grab like one of those little doggy shavers and just shave it, but be very careful and watch the skin so that you don't nip them or anything like that, and just take it off. It's the best way instead of brushing it out, because then you can pull at their skin, pull at their hair. It can really hurt them, and if you leave it, then it can get worse. It can get more matted. It can get more dreadlocky, if that's even a word, and it can just cause, really uncomfortable situations for your dog and vet visits because of maybe skin infections and things like that. Now, dreadlocks can actually form all over their bodies, so it could happen on their backs, on their tummies, on their legs, on their ears, behind their ears, on their necks. So you just have to be really mindful of brushing them regularly. And I also like to run my fingers through Lambo's fur on a daily basis whenever we're cuddling or I'm petting him, and I have pretty long nails, so it's kind of also like brushing him out. But occasionally he will get them actually under the neck and behind his ears. So as soon as they start to form, I get rid of them, so we've never had any issues. So you always want to monitor your poodle's curls. So let's talk about, why does your dog's fur get matted or hair? Mats form when your dog's fur or hair becomes tangled and wraps around itself. It forms tight clumps of the loose pieces of fur. If it's not brushed out, they continue to trap more fur and becomes closer and closer to your dog's skin. Mats tend to frequently form in areas where there's a lot of friction. So let's think about the areas around the neck where the collar sits, behind the ears, under the chin, under their armpits, under where their harness usually sits, their feet, and the back of their rear legs. So pay extra attention to these areas. Once matted dog hair starts, it can snowball out of control and it can become a health issue. Mats can cause serious skin issues, infections, and can painfully pull and pinch at your dog's skin and can hide some nasty critters as well, like fleas. So we want to make sure to avoid these mats and prevent them, or get rid of them as soon as we spot them. So dogs who like to swim are actually more prone to getting mats because the moisture causes their hair to curl and then it dries wrapped around itself. So many dogs who are bathed but not thoroughly brushed and dried can also develop matting. So it's very important to make sure that you dry and brush your dog after washing them. Curly coated breeds like poodles and doodles also tend to easily mat without continued maintenance. So this is why it's really important for poodles and doodles to have regular grooming and regular brushing. So the first thing is regular grooming. It will help prevent matting. We groom Lambo about every 2 weeks, and that means we wash, we blow dry, we brush, and trim his hair as well. Regularly trimming your dog's hair will also help prevent these mats. Sometimes we like to grow out our dog's hair or let it grow a little longer so they look fluffy and cute. But the reality is, when their hair is shorter, it's going to be better in preventing the mats, and it'll help you catch them quickly if they do form. Another option to prevent matting is to keep your dog's coat trimmed short all of the time, which also makes brushing a lot easier. We keep Lambo's hair longer in the winter, but continue with trims. And if I trim it a little bit too short, then I just dress him in a little cute doggy sweater. When brushing your dog, you want to brush small sections at a time and be very gentle with the strokes. Now, as you can see, I brush Lambo away from his head. So I'm not brushing upwards, I'm brushing downwards. So I'm pushing the coat down and I'm being very gentle. And I'm also checking the hair. If I feel that I'm brushing in one area over and over and it's not brushing out properly, I stop, I give him a break, and I check with my fingers to make sure that there's no mat, and then I continue and it usually just smooths out. Make sure when you're brushing, you're pulling away from your dog's body and you're being very gentle. If you do find a mat, you never want to pull the mat up from the skin and then cut underneath, as their extended skin can get snipped off as well. So you want to avoid cutting their skin. Put your hand through the hair and then trim the end where you found the mat or dreadlock forming. If you feel comfortable and you're able to shave the mat off, then be very careful and use some grooming clippers designed especially for dogs to shave out the mat. Don't pull or raise the skin as you trim out the matting. To help prevent obvious shaved parts in their coat, hold the end of the mat firmly with your fingers and work at the mat with clippers from the base outwards and peel it off in layers with the blade. This technique only will work for isolated mats. If your dog has matting all over their body and they have severe matting, then the best choice is to go see a groomer and get them to handle it. I've mentioned this before, but maintenance brushing is a really good way to prevent matting, and this is where you're going to brush your dog daily or even every couple of days with a soft end brush for detangling, like the one that we use. Or you could also get a pet grooming glove, and those work nicely as well. We didn't like the ones that are wires without a soft end because it was just too rough on the skin. Another option that some people use for their dogs is using a detangling leave-in conditioning spray. This is not something that we use, but it can make brushing easier as well, especially if your dog has a longer coat that tangles easily. So you would spray in the leave-in conditioner on your dog's damp coat after a bath and before drying them, and just lightly spray and then blow dry them out and then brush their coat. Another good way to prevent matting in your dog's coat is to take off their harness when they are not on a walk using their leash, because mats can form where their harness is rubbing on their coat and fur. So if you're just at home, let your dog be free of the harness and walk around in their birthday suit. And my last tip for today is to make sure that your dog has a good diet, because a good diet is also going to make sure that they have a healthy coat, and a healthy coat is a little less likely to mat. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope that this video was helpful for you and that you apply all of these tips to prevent matting in your dog's coat. So don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.